My brother intended to propose during my wedding. I declined, and as a result, he turned my family against me. I am a 27-year-old fella, and let me tell you about this mess my older brother, who is 30, kicked up around my wedding plans. Me and my fiancée, she is 25, picked April for our big day because she has always had her heart set on a spring wedding, and I reckon that sounds real nice too. Everything was rollin' along fine until last Saturday when my folks called me over to their place, saying they had something to talk about but would not spill the beans till I showed up. So I get there, and they sit me down with my brother, and out comes this wild idea he wants to pop the question to his gal at my wedding. I was hot under the collar right off the bat and told them no way, not happening. But they all started pushing me, ganging up like I was the bad guy, and I got so fired up I ended up herding the three of them, Mom, Dad, and my brother, into a corner like some kind of one-man cattle drive. I laid it out plain: if they pull this stunt, they are not just off the guest list, but I will also stop sending the $500 I have been given my parents every month to help with their mortgage. See, they took out a second loan on the house to put my brother, Mr. Golden Child, through college, and since I landed a solid job, I have been pitching in out of the goodness of my heart, not a skin for a piece of their place or nothing. I can quit that any time, I said, and then I stormed out without another word. Next day, my brother shows up at my doorstep, hollerin' that I wrecked his golden opportunity because now Mom and Dad are on my side and threatenin' to boot him out if he tries his proposal at my wedding. He accused me of holding money over our parents' heads, saying he just needed a surefire moment to ask his gal cause he was scared she might ditch him soon. I told him that is his mess to sort out, not mine. My wedding day is about me and my lady, not him, and if he dares try it, I will have him tossed out faster than you can blink. No ifs, ands, or buts, and I bet his girlfriend would not take kindly to getting proposed to just to get hauled out by security right after. He cussed me out, then ran blubberin' to our grandma, Mom's mom, the only grandparent we got left, and she got on the phone to chew me out. Turns out, he fed her a tall tale, stretchin' the truth something fierce, but even when I set her straight, she stuck to his side. I gave her a piece of my mind so sharp she ended up crying, and that got back to my folks, who were steamed at me for going off like that. I told them I only did it cause they were all trying to steamroll me into letting my brother hijack my big day, and in the end, they saw my point, though they still said I was actin' rough around the edges. My brother swung by again, yellin' that I am a jerk and hopin' I am proud of myself for ruinin' his shot. My fiancée knows all about this nonsense, and she is madder than a wet hen, ready to kick him off the invite list if he keeps pushin'. I am usually a calm guy, but with my brother, parents, and grandma, my fuse gets short quick cause they have always treated him like he could do no wrong. Grandma's the worst, she buys every lie he spins and pushed my folks to favor him too. She kept negging me over the phone to let him propose at my wedding, and I finally snapped, unloading years of frustration till she was sobbin'. Later, I warned my brother I would spill the beans to his girlfriend if he did not drop this plan, and he called me rotten for it, but I said my wedding is not his stage. Mom and Dad were there for that showdown, and they had my back. Shocked him good, I think. Dad even said he messed up raising my brother and that is on him, so now my brother's gotta pay real rent and utilities, not just the measly $300 a month he was tossing their way with no help on bills or groceries. If he does not like it, he can pack up, and they will rent his room to someone else. He begged Mom to step in, but she stood with Dad, and he stormed off looking like he was about to bust a gasket. He came back hours later, said nothing, and locked himself in his room. 2 days after that, he declared he was moving in with Grandma cause she offered, and our folks said fine, go ahead. He whined we all hate him just for wanting to propose, but they told him it is not the proposing, it is where he wanted to do it, and he is getting no backup on that. Now he is giving them the silent treatment. Grandma called me again, and I shut her down hard. My brother is not proposing at my wedding, period, and if she cannot handle that, she can stay home too. I called out how she has babied him since we were kids, and though she tried to deny it, I laid out so many examples she could not keep pretending. She bawled again as I said if she keeps this up, her invite is gone, and even when she begged me not to cut her out, she still could not see why I would not bend. My fiancé is all in with me, ready to axe both their invites. Grandma has not called since, and she is not talking to my folks either, probably cause my brother ran to her crying that Mom and Dad cut him loose, and she took him in, but I am unmovable, and I reckon she knows it now. I was not planning to tell his girlfriend, but she rang me up one Saturday after seeing my story online. She pieced it together from how I described my brother and Grandma. She tore into him, and he still tried to defend himself, but she dumped him flat and cut all ties. He blamed me, of course, even though she said she was done with him long before and would have turned down any proposal, anywhere. Then he showed up at my place one last time, throwing a fit and saying he is boycotting my wedding like that is some big threat with him and grandma sitting it out. I told him I would not miss him, and at 30, it is high time he grows up. Mom and Dad have washed their hands of him, painting his old room to rent out, and mine too, cause they need cash after he bled dry dropping out of college, mooching off them, then getting a degree online later while barely pitching in despite a decent job. They gave him everything, and he never showed a lick of thanks. He clammed up and left, and we have not heard a peep since. That is the whole saga up to now. I have got top-notch security lined up for the wedding, and they will bounce my brother out in a heartbeat if he tries anything. Oh, and one more thing, my brother and grandma are officially uninvited now. She called again, riling me up about not letting him propose, saying he is torn up over his ex, though I pointed out he is already on Tinder hunting for a new date, according to his social media. She said that is just him copping, but I said I do not care, he is banned, cause I cannot trust him not to pull something wild, and when she hit me with her usual I do not understand why, I lost it. That line always comes up when I will not bail my brother out, like when I loaned him cash for online college, and he swore he would pay me back after getting a job but dragged his feet cause he did not want to part with the money. I told grandma I am done lending him a dime since he will never repay me, and she still said she did not get it. So hearing that again about the wedding ban pushed me over the edge. I yelled she does understand, she just plays dumb cause she will not admit it, always talking his side no matter what. I told her she is uninvited too, and I do not give a hoot if she cries, I am finished with her. She sobbed loud, calling me a rotten grandson, but I said she is a lousy grandma for believing his lies and favoring him, even hiding it when she used to whack me and threaten me not to tell mom and dad. I told her not to call again unless it is to own up and apologize for real, then hung up. She has gone quiet since. I told my folks preemptively, and they do not mind me yelling at her anymore. They see she will never stop backing him. They are doing better now that he is out, fixing up rooms to rent and even clearing the attic for another spot, trying to climb out of the debt he left him in. They keep thanking me for the money I send, and they sat me down to say sorry for all the favoritism from when I was a kid till now. No excuse, they said, and they are ashamed it took em this long to see how good I have been to him despite it all. They are done caring what my brother and grandma think, and they are not talking to him either. His ex is long gone, wants nothing to do with us, and I cannot blame her. My fiancée is thrilled I stood firm. She wanted em gone ages ago, and then she dropped a bombshell. Grandma fed her lies about me when they were alone, trying to paint me as trouble so she would watch me close or maybe ditch me. One story was about a fancy stained glass lamp grandma had. My brother smashed it with a football indoors, blamed me, and she spanked me hard with a wooden spoon, even though grandpa knew the truth and told my folks. I stopped visiting after he passed, and hearing she was still spreading that garbage to my fiancé lit a fire in me. Good riddance to em both. I am free of that baggage now. A couple days back, my brother came banging on my front door again, and this time he was 3 sheets to the wind, drunk as a skunk. He slurred out that he found my online posts cause he tried patching things up with his ex, and she told him how she figured out his big proposal plan, so he got liquored up and decided to stumble over to my place for a showdown. He even puked on my porch step, then, get this, he flopped down on the grass, curled up like a baby, and started bawling while taking swigs from a bottle he had clutched in his hand. I pieced together from his rambling that he went to beg his ex to take him back, but she called him a overgrown kid and said she would never marry him, then spilled how she caught wind of his scheme from my posts. He went home, hunted down what I wrote online, read through a bunch of folks' comments, and when he saw hardly anyone took his side, he smashed his computer screen in a fit, grabbed some vodka, and started chugging it while hoofing it over to my house. I live just a couple miles from grandma's, where he is staying now. There he was, sprawled out on my lawn, cussing me out between sobs, saying it is all my fault everyone but grandma hates him now. I did not have an ounce of pity. I told him he brought that on himself. Sure, I put our family mess out there for the world to see, but he is the one who never grew up, always run into grandma like a spoiled little brat when things do not go his way. I said it is time to quit acting like a kid and start being a man. He mumbled some more nasty words I could barely make out, then just sat there, drinking and crying till he ran out of steam. I snatched what was left of his vodka bottle and told him maybe when he sobers up he will see some sense, then I called a taxi to haul him back to Grandma's. I was not about to drive him myself and set foot near her place. He did not even thank me for paying for the cab, just flopped into the back seat and told the driver to get moving. Next day, the taxi folks called me up, saying he hurled all over their car multiple times in that short ride and it cost $200 to clean up the mess cause it was everywhere. I said sorry and sent him a check to cover it. That was a few days ago, but the trouble did not stop there. My brother's antics kept right on rolling, so I will have more to tell real soon. Then there is Grandma. She could not let it lie, and now she is claiming I have ruined her life. I knew she would pull something like this, and some folks online even called it. She and my brother were already cut from my wedding guest list and pretty much out of my life, but she went and dragged him over to my parents' house to make a big stink, waving my online posts in their faces. Thing is, Mom and Dad already knew about I fessed up after my brother's drunken visit, and they do not care no more cause this whole mess woke them up a while back. I was not there to see it, but Dad told me Grandma laid it on thick, moaning to about how I humiliated her and acting like she could not fathom why I would make a fuss over something as small as my brother wanting to propose at my wedding. Then Mom, quiet, go along Mom, who never stood up to her own mother, finally blew her top. She lit into Grandma, calling her a self-centered bully who turned her and Dad into the same, and they were fools for letting it happen all these years. They told her and my brother flat out that this whole proposal idea was dumb and selfish, probably my brother trying to corner his ex in front of everybody, and then they kicked both out. They chewed my brother out special, said he treated like a cash machine for years, barely paying a dime after getting a good job, while me, the son they overlooked, stepped up to help dig out of the hole they were in, a skin nothing back. Grandma left in tears, Dad said, and my brother hardly said a word. Later, she called me up to rant, so I put her on speaker and let her go off while me and my fiancé just sat there by the coffee table, listening. After a bit, she yelled at me to say something, so I told her she is a spineless meddler who thinks she runs the show but does not and never will. She has got no hold over me and pretends she does not get why I am mad when she knows darn well but will not admit it. Then I brought up the lie she told my fiancé about me, which she denied quick. But my fiancé piped up and said she told me every word Grandma said, asking why she would do that. Did she not want me happy and married? That is when Grandma let it slip. She hollered she was ticked I am tying the knot before my brother, her precious favorite, and she wanted him hitched first cause he is older. She figured I could at least let him propose at my wedding to save his relationship. I said that was not savon nothing, it was trying to trap his ex into saying yes in front of a crowd, but I already talked to her before she cut us all off. And she would have said no anywhere, anytime. She was done with him months ago and might not have even stuck around till my wedding. I told Grandma I knew she would call me selfish, so I flipped it on her. I am the one helping Mom and Dad with money I did not have to give. I did not beg for handouts when I went to school. I built my relationship honest without playing games, while she spins lies to keep my brother on a pedestal, even trying to tank my engagement so he could beat me to the altar. That is selfish, I said. And if my brother had a thing for my fiancé, I bet Grandma would have told me to hand her over too, cause that is the kind of person she is. All I heard after that was her wailing loud and my brother trying to calm her down. He did not say a thing to me, and then the line went dead, either her or him hanging up, I do not know. I reckon I tore into her harder than ever before, and this time I blocked her number and is too, no more of that noise in my life.